Good day, my name is Kennett Naylor. I'm currently working for the Government of Bermuda Privacy Office, sitting on the Privacy Program Implementation Team. Today, I'll talk to you about personal inventory and personal information mapping, and how they are connected, and how these two exercises are important to the road of privacy compliance. In your road to compliance, every organization must identify how much personal information they are processing, using, and storing. As you take on your journey of this exercise, I recommend you to become acquainted with the importance of this exercise. First, let's begin with personal inventory. Personal inventory is an overview or a list of all personal information organization stores. Personal inventory includes categories of information used, such as personal information and sensitive information. Personal inventory also includes who has access, who it is shared with, when it is stored, such as a filing system or a cabinet, where it is stored, what the geographical location of storage, what the conditions for use and the personal information, and how long it should be retained. Personal inventory recording should become a procedural exercise built into your day-to-day operations. Now, we just talked about what personal inventory. Next, we'll talk about personal information mapping. Personal information mapping is a visual of how all the criteria defined in your inventory and how they connect together. It also allows you to visually see how personal information moves and flows through the organization's processes. This allows you to see just how you are handling personal information in your day-to-day operations. First, you should begin by mapping out your documents processes. Personal information mapping should reflect the information lifecycle, which shows the handling of personal information, which helps govern your privacy principles. First, you will start with your creation point, your collection point. At the collection point is where you begin to look at purpose limitation or proportionality. Purpose limitation, you're looking at the specific reason why you're collecting the information. Proportionality is you want to ensure that you're collecting only what's specific to the purpose. As you're moving along your process map, you're then going to look at storing. As you identify where you're storing this information, you then want to consider your security and technical controls. As we're moving along the map, you're now going to begin to understand the use of how you're using that information. You're looking at the conditional use. You're looking at the integrity of the information that you're using, and then you begin to think about your personal information rights requests. After understanding the use, you're going to move along and you begin to look at sharing, how you're sharing and how you're transferring the information. Begin to see whether you're sharing with overseas transfers. If you are got overseas transfers, you then want to begin to consider other jurisdictional regulations and requirements. As we're moving along, we're understanding the life of the information. So we're now coming to begin to understand your archive and your retention. You want to understand how long you are keeping this information for. As we come to the end, we now begin to think about how we're destroying and destructing of that information. This is basically how your information is being handled through a mapping. Through looking through your map, moving along your map is to help govern those principles that have been identified. Data maps quickly allows you to visualize your risk and gaps, which can quickly be recorded to provide insight to the prioritization in your remediation to your risk. These two exercises support you in meeting the responsibility and requirements of the Act. Privacy compliance begins with documenting, recording personal inventory, and personal information mapping, understanding how you handle personal information, and knowing what you have. Privacy responsibilities are recording of your risk and mitigation plans. Personal information mapping helps you to identify those risks. Continuing management of personal information. Privacy obligations demonstrate accountability to an individual's privacy. As you take your journey to PIPA, I recommend starting with these 2 exercises, which allows for you to make a more informed decision on the management of personal information in your organization's day-to-day operations. Thank you.